I predict in the next 10 years that crypto, blockchain, Bitcoin, all of this innovation will be the 12th sector of the S&P. Bitcoin, an allocation for institutions, which they do not have yet. What I predict will happen, they will put between 50 basis points and 3 basis points or 300 basis points into their portfolios. How much money is that? Trillions of dollars.
Famous Shark tanker Kevin Oye is still very much on board with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, even if he suffered a major defeat at FTX, losing tens of millions of dollars. Despite this, Oye is still firmly convinced of crypto's potential. He elaborates on his prediction that the cryptocurrency market would soon become the 12th 500 sector in his keynote lecture at the recent Bitcoin conference. This change, says Oye, will set in motion the largest ever transfer of wealth. Oye makes a strong case in his speech for the importance of BlackRock and the upcoming Bitcoin ETFs, which will establish Bitcoin's legitimacy as an asset on a worldwide scale. In his estimation, the cryptocurrency market is about to see an influx of trillions of dollars. According to Oye, the next bull run in 2024 and 2025 might be people's last chance to amass enormous fortune quickly. If you want to know how institutional investment is going to drive the cryptocurrency market to skyrocket, you need watch the video all the way to the conclusion, where Oye explains it in more detail. So, you're in charge of like $500 billion for some mega wealthy Middle Eastern sovereign fund. Plus, you already have oil in the ground, so there's no need to invest in more. In other words, you approach an indexer like myself and propose a trade. The SEP, less energy and fewer airlines. And indexers are responsible for that. Because of this, our sector is able to monitor monetary inflows at all times. Furthermore, policy has yet to address the billions of cash that are available. This is because, despite the great productivity, products, blockchain, and Bitcoin-related excitement that you will hear about over the next 3 days, these enormous pools of capital, some with trillions of dollars in assets, own so little cryptocurrency. It caters to ordinary investors, hedge funds, and ultra-wealthy individuals. Yeah, that's okay, but policies are what we're lacking. Nothing bad happens when policy is enacted and the regulator steps in to control things. Unprecedented levels of funding are about to pour into the industry. Those of us who are able to invest in it now are so catching the crest of a massive interest wave that will ensue once policy is enacted. Crypto, blockchain, Bitcoin, and all of this new innovation will become the 12th sector in the next decade, in my opinion. Cryptocurrency Bitcoin is not a traditional metal coin. It's program code. Ethereum is a program. Software is Avalanche. Software is Helium. You are referring to Solana software. Policy is now required to ensure that the United States does not fall behind in this crucial 12th economic area. The government must catch up with us, without a doubt. Since I've spent an inordinate amount of time in Washington over the past 3 months, I thought I'd offer you a brief update. Fortunately, many senators and representatives are actively considering this, and their views span both parties. Since I have read these bills, I will now present what I'm referring to as the 5 policy vectors. There's a lot of reading material here, especially for bedtime, and they're large. However, a great deal of beneficial innovation is taking place. Cynthia Lummis's Big Daddy Bill is where we should begin. She will be giving a major speech here on Friday. Having a senator visit here and address this crucial industry with a bipartisan mandate is a huge step forward. The arrival of regulation is indicated by that, which is a positive development. Vector 1 is that, in his second vector, an executive order, the president himself stated that he would not ban cryptocurrency. The most crucial message was contained there. However, we will address the question over climate change shortly. Additionally, this industry has been brought up by BlackRock, the Larry Fink mandate. Energy, sustainability, and global warming are additional issues that need attention. The measure was dropped by Measure Hagerty last night at 6 o'clock, split into 2 pages. The senator and I had a conversation last night, a measure to legislate the use of stable currency. It is 2 pages long. Legislation like this is just brilliant. Any senator can read and understand a 2-page document because of how basic it is. The implication of this is this. In comparison to a money market fund, How is this unique? Whether it's USDC or another stablecoin, why can't we just have a basic audit every 30 days that includes the underlying security? Why can't we cap the asset's lifespan at 12 months? Then why don't we let institutions hold stablecoins, whose market value has already surpassed $100 billion, and let the market compete to produce them? A bill of 2 pages. A senator is interested in doing business. Since my operational company, and I have been denied access to stable currency by our auditor due to the lack of legislation surrounding it, I must say that I am in full support of this requirement. Choosing a single pillar of value could be the greatest strategy for all of us involved in the cryptocurrency space. Also, I think stablecoins are currently one of the most rapidly expanding asset classes behind Bitcoin, of course. So let's see what happens when this becomes law and policy. If it has the backing of the US dollar, it will replace the dollar as the world's reserve currency, which is why it's important for you to pay attention. That's the way things turn out. Why should we cede control of that to another nation? As a result, why would we ever stop using that technology? Now we can control this. We need everyone's help to pass this measure. Plus, I am not requesting that the US government draft a single piece of code. They aren't supposed to do that. Allow the private sector and the free market to create stablecoin products and compete in the same way that Schwab and Fidelity do with their money market funds. Everybody you tell us is them when they have money in their account since they are controlled. Here, let's do the identical thing. That manner, new ideas can be coded by inventors while the government oversees and controls. It's a fantastic result. It will be here soon. Let us now discuss the potential pitfalls of the 5 policy vectors. The SEC will be our first stop. It has been suggested in recent memoranda, I don't know whether you've read them, that all publicly traded companies across all 11 economic sectors undergo a carbon audit in addition to their financial audits. If you assert that your operations are carbon neutral, you can expect to be audited on a quarterly basis. To achieve carbon neutrality, my company, which is involved in Bitcoin mining, purchases carbon offsets. The major issue with carbon offsets is that no independent auditor will approve of their claims due to the enormous tracking mistake. Even if you claim to be carbon neutral, one will sign on the dotted line since doing so would put them in conflict with the CC. This is bad news for proof of work if the SEC follows that policy. Unfortunately for Bitcoin mining, the initial US pioneers were highly concerned about becoming ESG compliant, so they targeted that market. It was to the offset market that they went. The European Union attempted to outlaw proof of work 2 weeks ago due to their worries over its carbon footprint. The world will be saved by Bitcoin mining, and here's why. If this policy is put into effect, it will be because it is both addressed directly in the President's executive order and in the ESG requirement that Larry Fink of BlackRock put in place. Bitcoin mining is the target of this scathing attack. Then why is Bitcoin mining eco-friendly? Why? Because some of the Bitcoin miners of the future are already here, and they're looking into alternatives to carbon-based energy sources like wind and solar, as well as hydroelectricity and nuclear power. Due to the high monetary worth of Bitcoin, its production will go ahead and finance the development of new equipment and turbines. Even though 90 of American dams constructed in the last century considered hydroelectricity, none of them actually installed turbines. Installing the turbines is my job. Why? Since it would be economically advantageous if I could utilize that without being bothered by a carbon audit. Bitcoin mining is going in this direction. In an ethical, environmentally friendly way, we may use hydroelectricity to power entire villages while we mine cryptocurrency. Montana will hear this. Northern Norway, Quebec, Canada, the Tennessee Valley, and upstate New York are all touched by it. The future of Bitcoin mining lies in Georgia's abundant, untapped hydropower. Furthermore, it is beneficial. Communities benefit from it, extra electricity is provided, and the cash needed for this is boundless. What I anticipate will happen is that institutions will add 50 basis points, 3 basis points, or 300 basis points to their portfolios when we make Bitcoin an allocation for them, which they do not currently have. This is the Loomis bill, which has lots of good news. I need to know the exact amount. Numerous billions of dollars. Therefore, regulation is necessary. for Bitcoin's value appreciation if you're an advocate, like me, who sees it as both software and property, and perhaps even a money. You sit back and watch as money pours into this, and you embrace it. My Snoopy Omega, which features Snoopy's lunar journey, is flying off the shelf today in honor of this notion. Over the past 24 months, the value of this watch has increased by 4,000. All because to you, Snoopy is your favorite. To the moon is a place you adore. Like me, you adore this timepiece. Please accept my deepest gratitude.